Humot Sub-County to celebrate International Women's Day today. UPDF mediates Amuru-Adjumani land dispute. Elsewhere, Togo asked UN member states to use map showing Africa's true size. Dear listeners, this is your latest news on 93.3 Wang OFM at 8 a.m. with me, Odera Santo. Beginning on a positive note in the local stories, leaders and residents of Motsap County in Agago district are today gathering to celebrate International Women's Day in an event aimed at promoting the rights and welfare of women and girls in the community. The celebration is taking place at Okwol Primary School in Awonodwe Parish and is expected to attract local leaders, community members, religious leaders, and development partners from across the sub-county and neighboring areas. The event is being organized as part of the global commemoration of women's contributions to society and the need to strengthen gender equality. This year's theme for the celebration is scaling up investments to accelerate access to justice for all women and girls in Uganda. Organizers say the theme focuses on strengthening systems and protect women and girls from discrimination, violence, and inequality while ensuring that justice services are accessible to all. The celebration will begin with a football match featuring women teams from Awonodwe and Barima parishes competing against teams from Opari and Ateje parishes. Community leaders say the sporting activity is intended to promote unity, participation, and empowerment among women in the area. The chief guest for the event is expected to be Akago Woman MP and State Minister for Economic Monitoring and Development in the Office of the President, Beatrice Akil Akuri, who will deliver a keynote address highlighting the importance of empowering women and improving access to justice services across communities. In the regional stories, Uganda People's Defense Forces (UPDF) has stepped up peace engagements aimed at resolving the long-standing land conflict between communities in Amuru and Adjumani district in northern Uganda. The dialogue organized by the 501 Brigade under the 4 Infantry Division was held on Tuesday, 14th April 2026 in Iturikuwa sub-county, Apa Aliwara village, bringing together local leaders, security officials, and community representatives to address recurring tensions over disputed land boundaries. Officials said the conflict has over time resulted in deaths, injuries, displacement of families, and destruction of property, warning that continued hostility is undermining social cohesion and slowing development in the region. Speaking at the meeting, 501 Brigade Commander Brigadier Nathan Bainomugisa called for peace coexistence, stressing that unity and shared responsibility remain key to restoring stability and enabling development. The resident district commissioners of Amuru and Adjumani reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening coordination between the two districts and prevent further escalation of violence. While urging communities to focus on productive livelihoods, the engagement brought together a broad range of stakeholders, including local leaders, security officials, and community representatives, as efforts continue to find a durable solution to the protracted land dispute. In the national stories, Uganda has intensified its fight against malnutrition with the launch of the Nutrition for All campaign as government officials and development partners raise concern over the scale of crisis affecting children across the country. Data from the Uganda Demographic and Health Survey shows a troubling triple burden of malnutrition. About 26% of children under 5, more than 2 million, are chronically malnourished or stunted, while 30%, around 230,000 children, are wasted and in urgent need of treatment. At the same time, 30% showing 230,000 children are overweight and 3% of children aged 5 to 19 are overweight or obese. In addition, many children suffer from micronutrient deficiencies lacking essential vitamins and minerals such as iron, iodine, zinc, and vitamin A, conditions linked to limited access to diverse and nutritious diets often described as childhood poverty. Speaking at the launch, Director General of Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Professor Dr. Charles Olaro, emphasized the urgency of prioritizing child nutrition as a national development issue. He warned that malnutrition continues to drive disease burdens across the population. Malnutrition contributes to common illness and severe diseases like pneumonia, accounting for up to 64% in children and 32% in women. Experts at the launch noted that malnutrition in all its forms is driven by multiple factors, including poor diets and feeding practices, rising food prices and inequalities, climate shocks, aggressive marketing of unhealthy foods, and limited awareness, especially during the critical first 1000 days of a child's life. In the international stories, Togo will ask United Nations member states to adopt a world map that more accurately reflects the true size of Africa and ditch the 16th century Mercator projection, its foreign minister said. Critics say the Mercator projection, which makes Greenland appear as big as Africa, when in reality the continent is about 14 times larger, reinforces perceptions of Africa's marginality despite its vast size and population, shaping narratives in media, education, and policy. Created by cartographer Garadas Mercator of Navigation, the Mercator projection distorts continent sizes, enlarging areas near the poles like North America and Greenland while shrinking Africa and South America. Togo Foreign Minister Robert Dussey said in an interview with reporters on that the size of the African continent on the map used around the world is geographically inaccurate. Dussey said a draft resolution is being prepared with a vote likely at the next UN General Assembly in September. Earlier this year, the African Union adopted a resolution prompting the Equal Earth projection and encouraging its 55 member states to move away from the Mercator projection. The UN adopted last month an Africa led resolution recognizing slavery as the gravest crime against humanity and calling for reparations. All European Union countries and Britain abstained, while the United States, Israel, and Argentina voted against it. And now in business, sugarcane farmers in Uganda have raised alarm over the continued lack of a reliable market for their produce, saying the situation is pushing many into financial distress and threatening household livelihoods. Farmers, led by their chairperson Milton Kasaiza Lugese, says the crisis has been worsened by existing sugar factory operators whom they accuse of refusing to purchase their cane and frustrating efforts to introduce new investors into the country. They also accused some factories of issuing harvesting instructions and later failing to purchase the cane, leaving farmers with losses as harvested cane dries up in the fields. Several farmers say they are facing possible loss of property after failing to service loans, while others report being unable to meet basic household needs, including school fees for their children. In Kagadi district, sugarcane farmers claim that some industry players are deliberately blocking their license of the proposed Kagadi sugar factory despite growing production in the region. Kagadi district chairperson Ndibwame B. Yosia said officials from the National Sugar Council recently carried out a verification exercise as part of the licensing process for the proposed factory. He said establishing a local sugar factory would provide a stable market for farmers, reduce transport costs, and improve household incomes across the district. And finally, in sport, Andoni Arola has informed Bournemouth he will leave the club when his contract expires at the end of the season. He is expected to consider his options this summer, with several Premier League jobs potentially arising. The 43-year-old's departure could also open the door for the for the pathway to join his boyhood club Athletic Bilbao, but the former Borussia Dortmund head coach Edin Terzic is thought to be the front runner to succeed Ernesto Valverde. Rola's future has been a talking point for months, and he has kept his staff in the dark before deciding he will call time at Bournemouth after 3 seasons in charge. Bournemouth players were told of his planned exit after training on Tuesday afternoon. Bournemouth owner and chair Bill Foley said Andoni has been instrumental in shaping the direction of the club, and he brought intensity, innovation, and a clear philosophy that elevated AFC Bournemouth both on and off the pitch. Harola has established himself as one of the most highly regarded managers in the league, and last season led Bournemouth to a record points tally and matched the ninth place finish achieved by Eddie Owie in 2016-2017 season. Bournemouth's next game is against Owie and Newcastle at St James Park on Saturday. Owie has never beaten his former club as Newcastle manager. And dear listeners, that was your latest news on 93.3 Wang OFM with me, Odera Santo. Stay tuned, don't touch your dial. The morning mirror continues with JR.